Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Got a big show boxing for you tonight, and we'll get with us Coach Chris, strength and conditioning coach from America, Maryland. He's going to be with us in a moment, but first and foremost, we have in the house with us also, we have with us also in the house the Honourable Uncle James Ali Bashir in the house as well. Yeah, what's that got to do with boxing? Hey, listen, I was on a national show, TV show recently, and they were talking boxing, and it was great. And then they talked about Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, and the actual host was a Chelsea supporter. So I was doing well up to then. Uncle, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, I'm doing pretty good.
I think we should start with you from a veteran standpoint. And what happened on Thriller last night.
You're getting feedback.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. That might be because we're all. If you mute your microphone. Chris, mute your microphone. Right, just try that. Is that better for you, Uncle?
Yeah, no feedback now.
Fantastic. So, okay, let's start with you, Uncle, because obviously we're going to talk about Thriller and the veteran Evander Holyfield Evander Holyfield fighting last night, or doing something last night against Victor Belfort. I don't know what to say. Evander needs saving from himself. He needed saving from himself before then. He said he wasn't hurt. It was clear that the first shot that landed clearly buzzed him, and he would have got himself seriously hurt. Your thoughts?
I think that all of this is a shenanigan, a fiasco, if you will. I understand that they wanted Frank Bruno to partake in a fight against Holyfield, but Frank Bruno seems to have enough sense and enough class not to involve himself in a foolish act such as that. And I really don't like the fact that these guys got to come back and box. You know, it's one thing to love a sport, but a dangerous sport like boxing, it's not a good look for these guys to be in the ring, period, at their advanced ages. So, no, I'm not enthusiastic about it at all. I've never even watched this Mike Tyson, Roy Jones fight. I've never watched it. I never watched it, not once.
You know, Uncle, the thing is, we all have this sort of, I don't know what, it was just good to see Evander Holyfield in the ring. The fact he was fighting was the problem. But just to see Evander Holyfield there, you kind of go, your mind goes back to those days of Evander Holyfield when he fought those great fights. And he's just there, but your brain is stuck in the 90s when he's in 2021. That's the problem. And because the level of boxing today, the best are not fighting the best, we get desperate. So people like Mike Tyson coming back is something that people are interested in because the best are not fighting the best. And the standard of boxing isn't that good. That's what it is. It's not what you want to hear. But Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones was a big fight. Based on the money it was brought in and the pay-per-view numbers, people tuned in to watch that. And Canelo had to think twice before boxing on the same night as Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. So that tells you something as well. That the current pound for pound number one can't say, oh, box on the same night and put them out of business. And these two guys can put on a show and fight. So that must tell you something about the standard of boxing all round. That if Mike Tyson and Roy Jones can still pull in a crowd,
Well,
And
I think the crowds that they pulled in were people who were non-boxing purists. I think that the crowd that they pulled in were basically people that was on the fly, if you will, people that are more like outsiders of boxing, like boxing is an amusement for them. They don't understand the dangers and the rigors of boxing, and they don't understand the standpoint that the great boxers come from. It's an insult to boxing to me. I think to have these guys coming in at these advanced ages, making mockery of themselves. They're getting paid for it, of course, but I think that they do the sports more damage than they do good. Than than they possibly can do
yeah,
good.
but when you have exhibition bouts, I mean, Evander Holyfield is 58 years old. He had no business being in a ring, full stop, at 58 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's to me, it's a detraction from boxing. It's a very very sad thing to see Evander Holyfield at that advanced age in a ring trying to box.
Chris, your thoughts?
Man, I don't even know where to start with that, man, because that hurt last night to watch that. I couldn't watch the fight. The bell rang and I turned it off, man. I didn't watch any of it, man. I'm not watching that. That's the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, yo. That's the former baddest man on the planet, yo. Okay, everybody want to talk about Tyson said this, Tyson said that. Evander Holyfield whooped Mike Tyson's ass. Made him bite him in the damn rematch. That's a warrior right there, man. That guy has heart. That dude, Evander Holyfield, would never give in to any fight. He won fights off of sheer will. That's the real deal. That's Evander real deal motherfucking Holyfield. And he fighting in some weak-ass exhibition against a juiced-up MMA fighter. That was fucking bullshit. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. It's Mexican Independence Day weekend. And that's the fight? That's the fight Saturday night, Mexican Independence Day weekend? 58 years old, Evander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort? That's boxing, right? That's what young kids are in gyms right now, sparring. I want to be a world champion one day. That's what they're aspiring to do, right? That's the sport they want to join. To where even if you reach the pinnacle of the sport, the number one guy, the highest paid guy, you the man. And at 58 years old, you need to take fights against MMA fighters, bro. If that don't say everything about where boxing is right now, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't care. He shouldn't have to go into a ring to do that to make money. I know he makes money. He has to make money signing autographs. I mean, I know he don't pay for dinner when he go out to eat. He better not. What the fuck is going on here? Those are the fights we get in boxing. Saturday night, Independence Day weekend. You know the problem? You know why nobody want to have no fights this weekend? No real fights? Because it was football opening weekend. Because college football is back. The NFL starts today. And nobody wanted to put their money up against the NFL and football for one or two good fights in the U.S. Real fights.
I was speaking to a friend of mine earlier today, and the friend said that anywhere in America you can go into a bar or to a dance club or even an alleyway, and a 58-year-old guy can say something wrong and get his ass whooped for nothing. So that shows you where people should be at. They should be As 58 years old, he should be sitting in his living room watching entertainment on television, Netflix or something, and not be risking their lives in a ring for some money.
Well, I wouldn't.
Because, like, I wrote an
article.
Say
that about the U.S.
Well, the article I said in the article today was that, hey, you're doing something for money, but you could wind up in a lonely hallway, brain dead for some money. And then who spends the money?
I just think man,
all it takes is one well-placed punch, and Evander Holyfield could be on a respirator and never regain consciousness in his life. So I don't think that it's worth it.
Who said that? You see that dumbass comment at 58 years old? If you don't like it, don't watch it. That's some of the silliest shit. I'm gonna say this to you right now, dog. And I'm not one to talk bad about people here on the internet.
That's what I was saying. That's some of
the silliest shit I've ever heard in my life, bro.
You have overzealous people who are not boxing purists or who really don't care about the boxers that's getting in the ring, and they'll say stuff like, "If you don't like it, don't watch it. But we watching it for the entertainment." Until somebody gets hit on the chin or get hit on the temple and don't regain conscious, and then they'll write some fake stuff on the internet and shed a fake tear and say, "Oh, it's too bad what happened," and then they go on living. And a guy like Holyfield is in a lonely hallway somewhere in some faraway hospital where nobody can come back and restore his health. So I think that they should stop this.
There's a lot of fucking pieces of shit in boxing, bro. That's what it is. And it's not a league. It's not a league. There's no rules. It's just do what you want, man. They just look. That's Saturday night. We ain't even talk about what the hell happened Friday night. So boxing is on some bullshit. Okay, flat out. I'm gonna say it. This is coming from me. Okay, lifelong fan. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I stand up for what I stand up for. I'm not down with the BS. I'm with the smoke. Okay? You come to me with the BS and I got problems. And this weekend is the worst boxing weekend. This was the worst weekend in any. This was terrible. It was scandalous.
Let me ask you this question.
Ridiculous.
When Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones, what did you think about it?
What did I think about it?
Yeah.
I thought it was obvious that Mike Tyson and Roy Jones should not be fighting. That was crazy. That was crazy. Why are they fighting? Why are they fighting? Who's drug testing it? You know what I'm saying?
But hold on, wait. There's a Masters League in football. There's a Masters League in golf. There's a Masters League in basketball. There's a Masters League in hockey. There's a Masters League in every sport there is. But in boxing, okay, go ahead.
Let's be realistic here, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the same careers. If there was a league, I want to know the name of the doctor that said Evander Holyfield was fit to fight.
Well, California said that he wasn't. They wouldn't commission the fight. That's why they moved the venue.
Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson.
And New Jersey, Commissioner Hazard wouldn't approve that fight.
Man, look.
Larry Hazard, I know the commissioner personally, and the commissioner Hazard would not approve that fight. I don't have that. I know him well enough to say about his integrity, all right, and his love for the sport of boxing. And I know Commissioner Hazard would not approve that kind of fight for New Jersey. No, sir. Not going to happen.
Yo. Evander Holyfield fought everybody, okay? Like Mike Tyson, like everybody got this whole, like here's the thing about Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones. And let's be clear about this, all right? Because Mike Tyson, all right, let's look, I'm fired up. I done had a few. It's NFL Sunday, okay? I'm relaxing. I'm in my mode. I'm in the basement. Chelsea Football Club, we killing it. Second in the league. We about to win the league. I'm real hype right now, Okay? Mike Tyson ain't have a career nowhere near Roy Jones Jr.'s, yo. Not even close, right? So, like, let's get that out the way right off top. Roy Jones, between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson is not the better boxer who had the better career, okay? Mike Tyson was in a jail, right? However we feel about that, he didn't fight, right? What was Evander Holyfield doing while Mike Tyson was in jail? He's fighting Riddick Bowe 3 fucking times. You know what I'm saying? Like, he fought Lennox Lewis twice, Mike Tyson twice. He fought everybody, okay? Somebody should be like, yo, Evander, you're done. It's nothing else. You're done. You don't get to put the gloves back on, bro. That's it. I don't care if he wants to do it. A lot of people want to do a lot of damn things. They don't let him do it. I'm sure Ray Lewis would love to play football for the Ravens one last game. It's not happening. Not happening. I'm sure Peyton Manning, I'm sure Jordan could probably give you 13, 15 points in a game, one game. Nah, Mike, you're not coming back. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying, right? They say it like this. Man, when will I know when it's time to retire? The young guys will let you know. Time's past, bro. You got to live with that. You don't get this ain't playing a sport. This is boxing. It's dangerous. Getting hit in the face. Vitel Belfort was capable of killing him in that ring. Was there drug testing? Because Vitor Belfort is like 45 with a 12-pack, bro. And like no body fat. So like, you know what I'm saying? What are we looking at here? BG London's totally correct right there, though. Because Evander Holyfield was making more money than these guys make now. He bought Hammer's house, remember? That's oof.
These kind of tournaments, because old guys will have the idea that they still belong, and eventually somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah, you don't play boxing. You know, he can go play football. See, like you said that, he can go play football if he wants. Yeah, Ray Lewis can go and play football if he wants. You don't play boxing. It's not like I'm saying, hey, I'm going to go play a game of boxing. Nah, son. You're boxing. You're throwing hands. Somebody smack the hell out you. Put you to sleep. Easy.
And any thoughts on David Haye?
Man, look.
He says he wants to fight Tyson Fury. I'm like, for what?
He might could beat him. He could beat him now. Maybe. I don't know. He might could beat Fury.
No, I don't think so. I think Fury is a better fighter than what people think he is.
Oh, man, I don't. I disagree with you very heavily there, Coach Bashir. Respectfully, sir, I disagree with you about Tyson Fury. I think he's a complete ham and a complete fraud, and he's not fighting in October. I don't know what he's going to do October 9th, but he's not fighting Deontay Wilder. That's not happening. So, you know what I'm saying? He's about to get stripped, I guess, or whatever they decide to do. If they ever decide to fight heavyweights, decide to fight again. Who knows? Because boxing is a joke, really, right now. It's just crazy right now. It's just, I hate Coach Bashir. You know I love you. But, like, come on, man. You know he ain't trying to fight him. He running off scared, faking like he had a disease, man. Like, come on, Coach. Come on. You do not believe that, right? Come on.
New to the sport of boxing, people do what they have to do to give themselves longevity in the sport. So if maybe he wasn't ready and he said, okay, I got COVID, I need more time. You know, I don't know what the outcome will be of him and Deontay Wilder. You know, I don't know. I think Deontay Wilder has an excellent chance of winning the title back. you know. But David Haye is not in that picture.
No, I don't think so. I don't think David Haye in his prime was in the picture. That's what makes it funny now. It's like, you know what I mean? He can say like, oh, I could beat Tyson Fury now. He couldn't beat Tyson Fury. He might, you know what? You know, honestly, because see, David Haye was always hurt fighting, man. I don't know. David Haye versus Tyson Fury actually would have been an interesting fight because I don't think Haye would have been worried about Fury's power so much. So in their primes, that might have been a decent fight, but he's obviously past it and can't do that now. But, you know, he couldn't beat Tony Bellew. He definitely can't beat Tyson Fury. For the record, I do not believe Fury had COVID, but Fury has 6 kids. He's not going to bankrupt himself. Look, man, he's morally bankrupted himself years ago, brother. Like, let me tell you right now, man. First of all, the second fight was so long ago, you really can't think about the second fight in comparison to this fight that's in October. Honestly, it's 18 months ago. Where have you come? I know I've come a long way in 18 months. You know, a lot has happened a lot can happen in 18 months. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Fury's going to get into the ring. He's not acting like somebody's getting into a ring. He's talking real scary to me. Will AJ take the unification fight? Let me tell you guys something. The best
They will have to force AJ. They'll have to force AJ to get in the ring with Wilder.
Yeah, there's no way. He's not. AJ's not fighting. They don't. Have you guys seen Deontay Wilder's training clips? Have you seen the buffness that this guy, like, no. These guys, they're not going to want to get in the ring with this guy. They didn't want to fight him before. They definitely don't want to fight him now. He's pissed.
I'll tell you something. I think those video clips are delayed. I think they're old clips they keep showing us. I don't think they're clips that they're showing us are today's Deontay Wilder. I think they're about 6 months old.
Yeah, they're pretty. I mean, you got to think he's been training. He's been training for like a year and a half. That's what's so crazy. Like everybody's acting like, oh, Fury's gonna just demolish Wilder. Wilder has been just stewing in training for like a year. Like he's gonna get into this ring. Fury's not gonna get in the ring. It's this fight. I'm not gonna even entertain it. It's not happening. There's 0 chance Fury gets in the ring with him. I know that he's scared. I know it. You look at that interview he just gave. Scared.
You know, I can live with it or I can live without it. I really don't care. For some reason of all, I'm not enthusiastic about this fight.
What?
I'm enthusiastic about AJ versus Oleksandr Usyk. That has my attention, but Wilder Fury doesn't have my attention. For some reason, I can't get up about that fight.
I know why you can't get up for it, Coach, because you don't think it's going to fucking happen. Because you think Tyson Fury's a flake on the inside, and you know that he just pulled out of the fight, and he doesn't fight tough fights back to back. On the inside, you feel that way, so it's not allowing you emotionally to get up for the fight because you don't believe it's going to happen.
Something about the whole thing is just don't really get me excited.
Yeah, Tyson Fury is acting like he don't want to fight. He's acting like he doesn't want to fight.
Once they're in the ring, I'll get excited.
That exactly. It's hard to get up for a fight when the man own promoter's sitting there talking about, well, fingers crossed we get to the fight because he knows he's with a flake. Frank Warren said it in an interview. He's like, fingers crossed we get to the fight. Why are you not just saying we're gonna have this fight happen? They're not even telling people to fly over there to go see the fight. They know he's not fighting him. He's scared. He got caught. We're not stupid, yo. Like, we saw the pictures. We see the videos. Like, we're not blind. My eyes work. You're not supposed to see your knuckles in boxing gloves. Not supposed to see that.
A lot of accusations.
Not supposed to see the shit.
There were a lot of accusations.
Damn. Hey. Wow.
there were a lot of accusations. I just want them to bring
the accusations. I'm gonna make an accusation, smackuzation. My eyes work. My eyes work, coach. Coach, my eyes work. I'm not. One thing I'm not. I'm not perfect. I try to do my best. Lord knows I made mistakes. But my eyes are 20/20 vision. I'm 40 years old, 41
They got
years
to bring
old.
charges
I don't need
up on
those
the
type of
person.
glasses.
They got to bring charges up, and they got to charge him.
After the fight, Uncle.
After the fight,
the
after
charges
the
will come.
That's
Not
why
before.
That's why Fury doesn't want the fight. He knows he's gonna get sued. He's like, "Well, I gotta fight you and get sued."
I told you, Uncle.
Why? Why do I gotta
After the
fight you
fight.
and you're gonna sue me for the
The
second
legal-
fight? Why I gotta fight you and you're gonna sue me? I don't want to fight you. He's making more money in the fight than Wilder is, and he don't even want to fight. It's the biggest payday in boxing, and he's running away from it.
One second, gentlemen.
Payday in boxing, and he don't want the fight. He's scared. He's yellow.
Gentlemen, I have to acknowledge
I'll say that to his fucking
Stephen
face. Fuck
I have
him.
to acknowledge
He's a
Steve
fucking
Pemberton.
pussy.
What? 1 minute.
Yeah.
I need to acknowledge.
British
I need to acknowledge Stephen Pemberton. I have to hold on. Sorry for 1 second. 1 moment. I have to just acknowledge Stephen Pemberton. 1 second. Who has just donated $44.99 to BWTM online. That is much appreciated, Mr. Pemberton. We haven't always agreed on things, but $44.99 is the most that one person has contributed to BWTM on a particular show. So thank you so much, sir. I tip my headphones off to you. I haven't got a hat, so I've tipped it off to you. So thank you very much. Much appreciated. And thank you so much. You're the man.
Hey, I see Bob Sanders. I see that. I see your comment, Bob. And you said he needed a big name, and you thought Fury. Look, if y'all haven't noticed, Deontay Wilder is the only person in boxing in the heavyweight division willing to fight everybody, pretty much, right? He fought Fury. Man, look.
Yeah, Uncle Bashir doesn't get that one. You have to explain to him.
There's two ladies there. Shannon Courtney versus Ebony Bridges, the blonde bomber.
Eddie Hearn is talking about game change. He's changing the game of boxing.
Yeah, Ebony, yo, she be up there at the weigh-in in the thong, like, blah. I weigh 119. 19 in my breasts.
Have you actually gone to this woman's website, right? It's all about lingerie. Right, it's all lingerie.
I ain't going to her website on my computer, yo. I ain't get no viruses, man, on them nasty websites.
No, seriously. And at the end, it's just got her boxing record right at the bottom on a boxing website. I don't get this.
Hey, man, she's like the ring girl with hands. I love it, yo. It's all good. She's like the ring girl with hands. I love it. She definitely lost that fight, I thought, though. I thought the other girl put the hands on her, but whatever.
Saturday night. So talk about Friday night. Uncle, do you know what happened on Friday night? Uncle, do you know what happened Friday night? Hold on.
Friday night.
You know what happened Friday? You know what happened Friday night boxing? Chris, Friday night of boxing.
Friday night.
Yeah, let Chris take over. Chris, explain to Uncle Bashir what happened.
So on Friday night, Oscar Valdez fought, I can't remember his name, Obsession. He fought in the Olympics for Brazil, Brazilian guy. Fights in the Olympics, so they had a fight Friday. Prior to this fight, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, Oscar Valdez tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug. The enhancement drug was, I think it's called, pronunciation is probably a little wrong here, but it was phenylalanine, something like that. It's a banned stimulant. It's actually a stimulant the doctors prescribe for weight loss patients, like morbidly obese weight loss patients that are like 450 pounds, that are having like thyroid issues, they're having trouble losing weight. They actually give them this stimulant, helps suppress their appetite, helps rev their metabolism up so they can lose weight. So Oscar Valdez failed A sample and B sample, failed the VADA test prior to this fight. So off the top, the WBC doesn't stop the fight or ban him in any way. He failed the test in their own clean boxing program, yet they still allowed him to fight Friday night. The commission where he fought in Arizona was the Pahuca Valley Tribe Commission in Arizona. They allowed the fight and sanctioned it locally. Keep in mind, this is also where Eddie Hearn moved the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight from California when he failed a drug test. So they moved that fight to Arizona. So now the word is, I guess, if you fail a drug test and you're on the West Coast, move the fight to Arizona and it'll sanction you. So either way, the fight goes on as scheduled. He goes to the weigh-in. He misses fucking weight. But what they do is, though, and this is during the weigh-in, because keep in mind, this fight was on Top Rank's promotion on ESPN. So all of this is on national television. Keep in mind, he gets on the scale and weighs in. He weighs in overweight. They pull him off the scale. He steps on the scale. He's still overweight. They mention everybody to go back. The announcer announces he weighs in at 130, and they just moved on with their business. So he did not probably make weight. They moved everybody back so they couldn't see the scale. This happened on ESPN. Fast forward to Friday night, Oscar Valdez, despite the fact that he failed a piss test and tested positive for a PED, despite the fact that he was overweight and didn't make weight to defend his 130-pound WBC world title, he proceeds to fight Friday night and get the shit beaten out of him, beaten to a pulp, clearly lost the first 6 rounds of the fight, but surprise, surprise, wins the decision. One scorecard was 117-110, despite the fact that if you look at Oscar Valdez's face, it looked like he fought 3 people. And that is what happened on Friday night to start the weekend that was boxing, World Championship boxing.
I missed that because I was in France. I missed that because I was in France with my own fighter Friday night on the undercard to Tony Yoka. So that's why I couldn't observe ESPN, because Friday night I was over in France. So what is Chris saying? I can't hear you.
No, I just wanted to explain the whole situation to you from start to finish so you could see the timeline of what happened from the drug test fail all the way up to the...
Yeah, this is not right, though. This is not right, though. This is a farce by the WBC, by Top Rank, and by all those inclusive parties. You cannot accept a drug cheat. They need to be banned. And the only way to get rid of drug cheats is to ban them. I don't care who it is. It could be my brother. You got to ban drug cheats to make the sport whole again.
Listen, Eddie Hearn promotes a bunch of drug cheats. Povetkin was one of them. Povetkin fought on pay-per-view 3 or 4 times. And you've got a guy, what's his name again? Big Baby Miller has been banned from boxing. Yet Povetkin fights on pay-per-view with Eddie Hearn. Luis Ortiz got caught. But guess what? He fought pay-per-view. So what's going on?
It shouldn't be.
What's going on? But yet, those who get caught...
I can tell you what's going to happen. Eventually, they're going to destroy the so-called sport of boxing. I call it business/sport. I don't call it sport/business. I call it business/sport, because everybody is willing to look the other way because of the proceeds of the monetary gain. So we're willing to look the other way. Look, we understand that you had a little drug problem, but we're gonna work things out. No, the powers that be has got to clean up the sport, and if that don't happen, boxing is on the way out. I'm telling you, it's on the way out.
When you're talking about drug cheats and you want to talk about cleaning up the sport, then also clean up the media, the false narratives, the bullshit commentators, the crap referees, and the dodgy judging. We could do all that. The sport will clean up.
Yes, all of them plays a part in this. Everybody's playing a part into this.
I got one thing to say real quick. We're talking about cleaning up the sport of boxing. We got to clean it up. Who cleans it up? Give me a name. There isn't one. It's not one person. Need a league. Need a commissioner. You need someone who looks out in the best interest of the sport. That's what the NFL has. That's what the NBA has. That's what Major League Baseball has. That's what the La Liga has. The English Premier League has. It's what FIFA has. It's what the UFC has. At the end of the day, one guy or girl. That's it. All this, whatever. I'm racist. I'm a racist. Hold on. I'm gonna show him something. Hold on. This is funny.
My man could never be a racist.
Nah.
The work that he does, he could never be a racist.
It's not even
Don't
that.
even try.
Nah, it was just gonna be funny because I thought I had the picture down here, but it's not. I was gonna pull a picture of my wedding party. It's like on my side and my wife's side. It's like the most. It's like the freaking rainbow color. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, two black best. Like two black groomsmen, two white ones. My wife had two black. Two white ones. Like 50-50. It's too funny.
Typical divide and conquer comments to divert from a good conversation to focus on toxic garbage. Take your garbage off our channel.
I'm racist.
Stick with boxing, my friend, or just get off the channel.
Well, you know what? Whatever. He's not here to talk boxing. He's here to talk about why Tyson Fury shouldn't have to fight Wilder. Probably. He's probably still mad about that. Doesn't have a problem with the WBC sanctioning drug cheats. Like, that's fine. But,
Interesting topic to talk about here. I think I'd like Coach Bashir's advice on this. It's Stephen Pemberton. He says, Ingram, I know you think I'm messing about, but seriously, the comeback has already started. Got a way to go yet, and no idea how to get a profile, but I'll be able to bang out a few of those dosses. And we'll need a manager, hint, hint, LOL. Hi. Are you talking about me managing you, or are you talking about Uncle Bashir? Let me leave it over with Uncle Bashir to talk to.
You'd have to repeat that, deal. I was lost halfway through the conversation. I was lost. I don't know what's going on.
So, Stephen Pemberton is on the comeback and he wants to box. So, to check it out.
How old is he? What's his weight? How many fights has he had?
Steve, how old are you? What weight are you? How tall are you? How many fights have you had?
How long ago was it that he fought? I mean, it's a whole lot of pros and cons that has to be answered before you get into a boxing ring.
He's already put in a deposit with a super chat. Well, let's talk about it. Uncle, he says, Steve is 45 from Yorkshire, 5'8" southpaw. I'm actually not faster than you think.
Oh, please.
Steve is 49 years old. No fights that bad
Stop. Stop. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's have a
Uncle,
serious.
let's talk. We'll find out what Steve age is. What a number. I'm 48, 22 stone at the moment. Need 19, 6'3".
Listen, man. And, I don't want to get involved in that. You have to forgive me. I don't want to get involved in that.
Yeah, I understand that straight away, Uncle.
I'll be right over here. Y'all go ahead and have the conversation. I'll be right over here.
Uncle. Okay. Let's talk about something that's disturbing me at the moment, Uncle, and that is Professor Joshua. The language that he's speaking at the moment is concerning me because it sounds like he's actually trying to be the brains of Britain, and he's going to try and outbox and outthink Usyk. He doesn't sound to me like a guy that wants to go out there and knock 10 bells out of Usyk. He sounded like he wants to use boxing science against Usyk, and that's a bad sign. Your thoughts?
I don't think that he should try that. I think that in this particular case, he has to consult the past fights between big men and smaller men. I think that he should go out there, like I said before, on many other occasions. I think that he needs to go out and do what Sonny Liston did to Floyd Patterson, or what George Foreman did to Joe Frazier. Cut the ring down, get behind a good stiff jab, and engage Oleksandr Usyk in a battle, because Usyk will succumb to that kind of battle far quicker than AJ would. But if he goes out there with this diplomatic attaché, if you will, trying to confront Oleksandr Usyk, then he'll wake up the following morning the ex-champion.
You were criticized in the comment section for giving away the game plan of how to beat Alexander Usyk on a previous show, and the person said that was pretty unprofessional of you, having trained Usyk before. But I also said to them that you've actually worked with Anthony Joshua as well. Your thoughts on that?
I gave an opinion about what I would do if I was the trainer for Anthony Joshua, and I gave an opinion about if I was the trainer for Usyk opposing Joshua. Did they mention that? I gave an analogy for both guys. I'm acting as a commentator. I'm not acting as an ex-trainer, and I'm not acting as a boxing trainer. I said what I would do if I was training Usyk and what I would do if I was training Joshua, just like hundreds of other pundits has. So I'm not the only person that sees the way to do it. I'm not choosing Joshua over Usyk or Usyk over Joshua. I was just acting as a pundit. So tell them to fuck them.
Thank you, Uncle, for that. I've basically put that down in the comment section, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, fuck them. You know what they're gonna tell me? I'm a pundit. I'm acting as a pundit. So a pundit is a person that's dissecting each opponent. I said what I would do if I was training Oleksandr Usyk to beat Joshua, and I said what I thought Joshua needed to do to beat Usyk. So if you can't take that, then don't listen to the show. Fuck off.
You sound like Mike Tyson there.
No, I don't like that. I don't like people to say. Another thing I want to mention to you that Vlad told me that people in the Ukrainian press is translating their own interpretation of what we're talking about on this show.
Yeah, I think you need to get that clear as well.
You know, and Vlad said that translations makes me look bad. And I'm saying, how could they translate something wrong when I'm telling you one thing? In the Ukrainian press, they're getting the translation, making it look like I'm saying something wrong about Oleksandr Usyk or about anything in the Ukrainian boxing. How could I say that there when I'm training Vlad Sirenko, and I've trained Vlad Sirenko from the very beginning?
Yes.
When nobody in Ukraine, nobody in America, nobody would have nothing to do with signing Vlad Sirenko. And now Vlad Sirenko is 18-0 with 15 KOs. I've been with him from the very beginning, mind you. And it wasn't always peaches and cream during these years, you know. And I love Vlad Sirenko. I love Vlad Sirenko like a son, you know, like a son. And he treats me with great respect and adulation like a son does. So I don't know what these people are talking about.
So Eugene's clearing it up. He's saying one word, undefeatable. He then goes on to say, undefeatable. He then goes on to say, all you need to know about Ukrainian media, and he knows, being Ukrainian himself. Chris?
I was gonna say I just play nice with him. I guess I don't know, man.
Look. One thing that I'm not, if anybody knows me, one thing that I'm not a hater. I've never been a hater. All right. I'm certainly not an ass kisser because I'm not going to kiss nobody's ass. I'll drive an Uber before I kiss anybody's ass anywhere in the world. I've always been a stand-up guy. I've always been a nice guy. I've always been a respectful guy, but I'm not no ass kisser. I'm not no yes man. Ain't nobody gonna put no pressure on me to make me think one way or say something one way. You understand? If you know, I'm telling you that people are going to think what they want to think, and they'll take any little thing that they can and try to twist it around and make it sound like I'm the bad guy. In reality, they're the fragile people. They're the insecure people. They're fragile people, and they're going to be fragile people while I'm alive, and they'll be fragile people after I'm dead. But I'm not. But one thing I'm not going to do, I won't be intimidated into saying or doing what somebody think I should do. I'm not going to do that.
I was going to say, Coach, they're intimidated, and you know, because you're black, you had to come over there and show them how to do something with one of their own that they couldn't help. You know what I'm saying? So that's off top uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, gotta be, right? Like you had to come from America to school this dude on how to box. You know what I'm saying? He's Ukrainian, and they over there, but their Ukrainian coaches couldn't put him up and get him where he at today. And you know, sometimes they hate you for what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me tell you something. When I went into London, when I met with you, Ingram, for the very first time in person, when I went there, I met Lennox Lewis's wife for the first time. And when Lennox Lewis introduced me to his wife, he introduced me as his trainer. He introduced me as his trainer. He didn't say that I was the assistant trainer. He didn't say I helped in the camp. He introduced me to his wife as his trainer. All right? I've been in the presence of Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko for over 13 years. Each one of those guys, I've said something to them about boxing, about the analogy of boxing and how they should have confront a particular opponent. And you know what they did? They sat back and they listened to me. And they embraced what I was saying. So for anybody to say that I said something wrong about Oleksandr Usyk, they're a fucking liar. And I'll tell them to their face, they're a fucking liar. I've done nothing but good by Oleksandr Usyk. I'm acting as a pundit, as a host on a show. And I'm doing what hosts do. I'm doing what pundits do. I'm dissecting. They didn't say anything about what I said if I was in Usyk's corner against Joshua. So why should they say anything about what I said in Joshua's corner versus Usyk? So don't lie. Tell the truth. Confront the truth.
So let's clear this up, Uncle. What was said? What did Vlad say about what they thought about what you were saying about Sirenko and Ukraine boxing?
He just said that, you know, Vlad, he didn't go into detail, and I didn't ask him to go into detail. He said that, you know, people are saying things in the press that makes me look bad. You know what I'm saying? How could they say something that makes me look bad when I'm not saying anything bad? He said, well, sometimes they interpret what you say the wrong way. I said, how could they interpret something wrong?
Someone asked the question, what was Emmanuel Stewart like as an individual to be with? You've got many stories about him.
I was with him 17 years. So that should tell people what Emmanuel Stewart was like. If I was with him 17 years, he couldn't have been that bad. You know, me and Emmanuel Stewart, we bumped heads on every level for years. We was like two brothers, you know. Two brothers get into it. Me and Emmanuel will get into it all the time. But in the end, we found a way to get it done.
I want to ask you both opinions on the upcoming fight, which I hope happens for the good of the sport of boxing. Shawn Porter versus Terence Crawford. Let's talk about this fight. Will it happen?
I think that fight is the shot in the arm that boxing needs. It's a shot in the arm. I think that is a credible fight. I think that is anybody's fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. And I said that any one of those guys can win it. But that's a really admirable position that both fighters are taking. And I think that's the shot in the arm that boxing needs to get back.
I've always felt Shawn Porter's style could run over Terence Crawford. I've always thought that because of Porter's style, he disrupts. And I've never seen Crawford being disrupted before. And I think if anyone's going to disrupt Crawford, it's going to be Porter's style. But he's got to, when he gets close, be effective and not smother his work. Chris, I know you want to say a lot about it.
Shawn Porter started.
I think Crawford wins, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be the fight we want to see Crawford in. I definitely agree with Coach. It's definitely the fight boxing needs.
I think Crawford gets stopped.
Huh?
You think Crawford gets stopped by Porter?
No.
I can see that. This is going to be a good fight.
I think that Shawn Porter's style upsets anybody in the division. He has that kind of style that can take everybody out of the game plan and make them fight his fight. But I don't see that Crawford is going to get stopped. No, I think that's going to be a tough fight. I think that Shawn Porter is a guy that's going to bring out the best in Terence Crawford. And I don't know whose fight that is. I don't know who's going to win that fight.
Yeah, but the level of opposition that Crawford's fought since he's got to welterweight and the level of Porter's fight, I think it does matter. I think it does matter.
No, it doesn't matter. You know why?
Big fights.
Let me tell you something. Shawn Porter's been in some good fights, and that might be to his undoing. It can work two ways. You know, 2 ways forward. So, you know, I think that what's going to happen is that Shawn Porter is going to bring out a side of Terence Crawford that we ain't seen yet. You know, that's what I think is going to happen. I think when Shawn Porter pushes up on Terence Crawford, that Terence Crawford going to be right there with firepower, and he's going to dig in and he's going to fight. I think that this is the fight that boxing needs. And I think that these are the guys who could do it. I wouldn't bet a dime. I'd like to sit down and watch that fight. But we're gonna see some shit in that fight that we ain't seen. All right. But kudos to both guys. Respect. What they saying?
First. Gotta make that fight first. Let's make this fight, man. Let's get a date. Tired of this ring around the rosy, man. Just pay him the money, man. Let's get this thing going. You know what I'm saying? It's a big fight. They both got a lot to lose. Pay him the money. Let's get this fight going.
So, who's the best fighter that Crawford's fought at welterweight to give him this level of? He's fought really nobody tangible.
Well, here's the thing: Porter hasn't beaten anybody at welterweight. He beat Danny Garcia, lost to Thurman, lost to Spence. He won the Ugas fight, but we all know what that's about.
Well, hold on. Do you think Crawford could beat Spence or Thurman? I mean, Thurman that fought Porter that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like Terence Crawford. I like Terence
Wow.
Crawford a lot. I like Terence Crawford a lot. I think
Wow.
Terence Crawford has the highest boxing IQ out of everybody in boxing.
I think that
I like Crawford.
styles makes fights. Always has and always will. So it doesn't matter who fought, who, when, or where. In this particular fight, styles will dictate how these fights.
He's disruptor. Porter's a disruptor.
But Porter's not going to stop
everybody. Porter disrupts everybody. But you know, he's lost to some of the guys at the elite level. He's lost to them.
Have you ever? Let me ask a question. Have you seen anybody ever beat up Sean Porter?
I think Crawford stops him. I think Crawford's too smart. Crawford is smart as hell in that ring, bro.
Listen, Crawford got buzzed and he got hurt. He got buzzed by Gamboa. He got hurt by the Green Machine. I think Porter can do some real damage.
No,
Come on. He got dropped by the Green Machine, and you know he got dropped by the Green Machine.
It's a good fight.
And wait. And Ray Robinson did a better job with Green Machine than Crawford did.
Styles, big fight.
All right.
This is a good fight. Look, this is a good fight. It's a fight that boxing.
You know, another fight. Another fight that boxing needs. Dillian White versus Chris Arreola or Jermaine Franklin.
Jermaine Franklin? Who the hell is Jermaine Franklin? Why is Dillian White only fighting 40-year-olds, yo?
Hey.
He only fight 40-year-olds, but he ain't managed to fight Louis Ortiz yet.
Earpiece. It keeps crackling. What's that?
It's from your end, Uncle. When I mute you, it doesn't crackle. So let's talk about the Can Man for a second. Chris, you go first.
The Can Man? Who's that? Adrian Broner?
Dillian White. Anyone can get it. Dillian White.
He got that from Adrian Broner, though. Adrian Broner definitely said that first. Adrian Broner said that like 9 years ago or something. But anyway, all right, whatever. Dillian White, what's next for him? You want to know what honestly I think is going to be next for him? A wheelchair after the Deontay Wilder fight, because Tyson Fury is going to pull out and they're going to make him fight Deontay Wilder for the vacant title, and Deontay Wilder is going to stop him in the first round and knock him to Kingdom Come and absolutely show to everyone that Dillian White is a complete bum, which is what he is. I think Tyson Fury knows that this Deontay Wilder that's about to come out of this pandemic is the Wilder that everyone's been thinking about in their nightmares that they didn't want to face, and he don't want no part of that action. He's not fighting him. They're going to make Dillian White fight him for the vacant title, and Wilder is going to end him. He's going to end him. That's what's going to happen. So all y'all been asking and praying for Dillian White to get this Wilder fight, and he's been waiting so many days. You about to see what the hell he's been waiting for, because Fury's going to pull out this fight because he's scared. He don't want the smoke. And White's going to get up into this ring and get his head knocked smooth off his fucking shoulders. I hope he doesn't die in that ring. Wilder's going to knock the fucking living shit out of him, and it's going to be hilarious and then scary. That's my prediction.
What is the possibilities of a remodeled Deontay Wilder? Because throughout his career, up to the second Fury fight, he'd been criticized for his boxing ability, criticized for windmilling, criticized for this, criticized for that. Now the man has gone back to school, and you can see he's made significant changes in his physical setup, in his mental setup, and how he's throwing his punches. And you can see that. And we're only being allowed to see what footage they're showing us. If he's remodeled, what is the impact of a Deontay Wilder on all cylinders with now boxing and punching and setting those punches up more than just relying on one big right hand? Your thoughts on this?
To Deontay Wilder and his trainer, Malik Scott, with all due respect, no one, no pundit, no fan, no boxing expert, nobody can tell what Deontay Wilder has until he's under the big lights. All of that shit behind the scenes, hitting pads and, working with combinations and talking and all that, that shit don't mean nothing until you're under those big lights. All right? Everybody has a plan until they get hit. All right? That's what the Mike Tyson said. Everybody has a plan until they get hit. So we can't make any assessment.
But Uncle, that applied for Mike's career, because when he got hit by guys who could actually fight, he fell apart. So that's Mike Tyson, not Evander Holyfield or any of the great fighters.
Wait. We cannot tell what Deontay Wilder has learned, what he's coming to the ring with, until he's under the big lights and that bell rings. Now, when we see when the bell rings, what he does then, that's what goes on the record. But all the stuff that's in the gym and hitting the mitts, and
But come on, Uncle. Come on, Uncle. The guy's been out of the ring for almost 2 years. He's got to have improved.
Look, I'm in boxing, man. I'm in boxing. I've worked with boxers for 52 years of my life. And I'm telling you, I've seen everything. I've seen everything, I've seen all of the ups and downs in boxing, and all of that talking, all of that stuff, all the mitt work and the pad work and boobity scoobity boobity bang, it don't mean shit until that bell rings. When that bell rings, when the punches start changing, then we're going to see who has improved and who hasn't improved, who got what. We're going to see then. Up until then, I got nothing to say about neither fighter, about Fury or about Wilder, all right? Because I know all of the innuendos and all of the plotting and planning and scheming and this and that and what we're going to do and huffing and puffing. All that shit don't mean nothing to me, man. That shit don't mean nothing until they're under them lights. Under those lights, because you're carrying the weight of the world when you come into those lights. When that bell rang, then you'll find out who has what. When Klitschko knocked down AJ in that fight, when AJ got off that floor, he was in another world. And he had the weight of his world on his shoulders. And he had to come through. He had to come through after being knocked down. So that showed character. That took a lot of courage and a lot of character, And when Vladimir got knocked down by AJ, for Vladimir to get up, I think he got up twice. That showed a lot of character. That showed that what they did in the training camp, now we're going to do it under the big lights. And they showed character by doing that stuff. They got up off the floor and they kept on fighting. I said, good God, these guys are fighting. All right? So it wasn't just talking. It wasn't just a lot of flashy stuff being on the internet. They was in the ring fighting. So we won't know until they get in the ring between Deontay and with Tyson Fury. When they get in the ring, I got a suspicion that's going to turn into a good fight. I think it's going to be a short fight, but I think it's going to be an exciting fight.
Can I talk real quick? All right. So all I know is this, right? Whatever auspices how you feel about the second fight, some people feel one thing, some people feel another thing about the second fight. Bottom line is, Tyson Fury is going to have to do something he hasn't done before, which is actually honor a rematch. and fight. I don't know why this is such a big deal. I don't know why he's been running from this fight for over a year. They could have fought twice by now. So, you know, one guy wants to fight, one guy doesn't. And for some reason, the guy that won miraculously by this amazing knockout, somehow he doesn't want the fight for some reason. I mean, like we're talking about Wilder getting better and retooling and things like that. Well, Tyson Fury became a knockout power puncher in one training camp with Sugar Hill, right? So if Tyson Fury, who's been boxing forever, can just become a power puncher all of a sudden, I don't understand why it's so hard to imagine that Wilder, who's a much better athlete, can't become a better boxer in 18 months. I mean, I could teach somebody English in 18 months, but he can't learn to box better in 18 months. Like, that doesn't make much sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And I know everyone has this thing where Deontay Wilder is a shitty boxer and he'll never improve his boxing ability. But you know what? I'm just of the mind that he doesn't really need to become that much better of a boxer. Like, if Wilder becomes 10% better of a boxer, Fury doesn't have loaded gloves, and Wilder's not stumbling around before the fight starts, I think you add those things up, and Wilder beats the hell out of Tyson Fury. I mean, that second fight with Deontay Wilder, we've never seen Wilder look like that before. Have we ever seen Wilder look like that before?
Boxing doesn't work like that. Boxing doesn't work like that. You got to come inside the ring, all that talking and stuff, you know, that don't mean nothing. When the bell rings is when it's going to count. When it counts for the record, it was when it counts. When they come in the ring, that's when it's going to count. I don't care what somebody did or what somebody doing or how fast they hit mitts, or when they come in the ring and start trading punches, that's going to prove.
All I'm saying, coach, is how come Wilder's the one trying to get into the ring and Fury's running the hell away?
I don't know.
We don't know that, right? Like, everybody all of a sudden becomes real. Everyone just like, look at the second fight. Everybody just goes, "Oh, I can't see what happened." Fury's gloves. I don't know what happened to Fury's gloves. These are accusations. I can't tell what has happened. Like, I don't get it.
I've seen stranger things. It could be part of a strategy. Who knows? It could be part of a strategy.
See, and like, we should have this fight. And see, this is why boxing's losing. Because in the UFC, we'd have had this third fight already and got that money made. Okay. And in boxing, they don't get it. That's why boxing's dying. These guys should be making more money than they make. But we got Evander Holyfield having to fight Vitor Belfort. It's crazy. I think Wilder is going to – I don't think – I'll bet somebody 100 right now Fury don't show up. Fury ain't showing up. Fury ain't showing up. He looked like a melted.
Listen.
He ain't showing up.
What I do hope is Fury does show up. What I do hope is Fury turns up in great shape. I hope he turns up in the best shape of his career, mentally switched on, ready to fight, and Wilder fights Fury with no excuses. Best training camp, 18 months of training, no excuses, and made a best man win. That's what I hope.
Hey, Ingram, at that press conference, did Fury look like he was training? He walked out there with his shirt off, looking like a melted hot fudge sundae. He's going to get killed. Look at these guys. That's what it's about for them. That's what it's about. They already making excuses for him. They hoping he trips down the flight of stairs or something. Fury ain't fighting that, man. He ain't going out there to try to get himself killed. Fury will hurt him, yo. I mean, Wilder will hurt him. He ain't getting in that ring. He ain't playing with him. He ain't playing with him. He ain't fighting him. I'll bet anybody 100 right now. Fury ain't showing up. Chickens. He was that scared he gonna cheat like that, but he gonna fight him in a fair fight? Yeah, okay. Sure.
Uncle, can I ask you this question?
Cheat, man.
While Fury was in America, his father had concerns about Fury's setup and what Fury's doing, and he was concerned about Wilder and Wilder knocking him out. Fury comes back to the UK, and his father's like, we're going to smash Wilder, we're going to do this and that. Why and how does the mentality change from him being in America and him being back in the UK, even though he's going to have to come back and fight in America?
I really don't know. I really don't know. You know, I really can't answer that question. I just want to see the two guys get in the ring and get it on. That's all. That's what I'm old school. I just want to see them, all the talk and stuff. I'm old school. Get in there, ring the bell, and let them go at it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to Tyson Fury when Deontay lands that rat eagle on his head. And let's see if Tyson Fury can stand up to that and make some coherency, you know, of what that right hand can do to him. And from there, we're gonna see a fight. I think
EJ Boxing.
I think that Deontay Wilder is going to be in that ring to fight. Like he's never
EJ Boxing will take you up on the offer.
EJ Boxing said what?
What's that dollar sign? I do 100 US.
What do you say? What the EJ Boxing say?
He'll take him up with 100 pounds.
I don't do pounds. I do US dollars, man.
They can translate it. They can translate it. It can still
I'm betting 100 US. That's what I got.
Y'all can be on the bridge.
Pounds and conversion rates. I don't buy lira. I'm not getting lira. I'm not getting all that. You know, US dollars, yo.
EJ, I will make this point to you. When Coach Chris was on this show and he said that Fury and Joshua was not going to happen, and Fury and Wilder was going to fight. And he said this in December. I remember you being on the show, and you say, "Nah, bro, AJ and Fury are going to fight." And we told you AJ and Fury were not going to fight. Chris told you that, and you said, "Oh no, they're going to fight." We never saw you after that. We never saw you after that. And Coach Chris was correct. The fight was scheduled for the summer of 2021 with Fury and Wilder. And of course, Fury didn't show up. Now we have this fight in October. We'll see what happens with that, to be honest with you. We'll see what happens. Finally, gentlemen, before we end the show, let's talk finally the ramifications of Anthony Joshua losing to Usyk, the ramifications of Usyk losing to Joshua. What happens? Uncle Bashir, you go first.
I think that Usyk losing to Joshua, Usyk still has some fight left in him that he can come back and try it again. But I think if AJ loses to Usyk, it spells the end for his career. You know, that's what I think. I think that it spells the end for AJ's career because they won't nobody respect him after that.
Okay, so it's the end of AJ's career if he loses to Usyk.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow. And if Usyk loses to Joshua,
Usyk can come back. He can come back. He can come back and try again. He hasn't taken no beatings. He hasn't no wear and tear on him. You know, psychologically, I think that AJ is done if Usyk beats him.
okay. Coach Chris.
I mean, you know, if AJ loses to Usyk, you know he's with Eddie Hearns. You know they got the rematch clause on deck. So we'll see a second fight. I guess it just proves what we already know, that Deontay Wilder is definitely the baddest heavyweight on the planet. Because, you know, after Wilder beats Dillian White, you know, we'll know that he gets the belt back. I think for AJ, though, he just needs to get past this obstacle. If he loses this first fight, which he very well might lose, I don't think he'll lose, though. I think he beats Oleksandr Usyk. I just think he's just too big. But, yeah. I can't see AJ really losing to him. So it's hard for me to think about the ramifications if he loses. But, you know, they'll have a rematch. They'll fight again. You know, sell more tickets. Wilder is a bum. Wilder has had a baby.
Look, it's 15 days away from Usyk and Joshua, right?
Is that long? I thought it was next week.
It's the 25th, right?
It is? Dude, I really don't know.
It's the 25th.
We don't hear anything about this fight over here.
September the 25th.
Yeah, we get no kind of advertising over here. It's not on TV or nothing.
It's September the 25th. You know, so we're just days away from the fight with Usyk and Joshua. Just days away.
All is going to happen is AJ going to win and he going to find a way not to fight Wilder again. That's all. This is ridiculous. Boxing. It is what it is. Riddick Bowe didn't fight Lennox Lewis. It's not the first time it's ever happened. It's pathetic. What can we say?
Okay.
Got old men fighting, but we can't get these young dudes. It's their damn job to fight the fight. But we got to put Vitor Belfort and Evander Holyfield on the damn fight. Keep ducking me, coach. Who is this EJ Boxing Live, bro? We ain't seen you since December. Didn't he just say that? I'm not going to bet you ain't been around since December, homeboy. What you talking about? Ducking you. I ducks no smoke.
And Uncle Bashir, final thoughts.
Yeah. I said Vlad Sirenko has dealt handily, you know, with Alexander Ustinov. You know, he put away with a clean right hand in round one. I'm thankful that neither one of the guys got hurt and that we can move on to the next house. I believe that we'll fight again in December. Could be, most likely will be Johan. What's the voice?
Wait, hold on. You fought already? I thought the fight was September 18th.
No, we fought last night.
What?
Yeah. Vlad Sirenko
I thought it was September.
Vlad Sirenko
wow.
Vlad Sirenko knocked out Ustinov in one round last night. First round KO.
Amazing. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations, coach.
Huh? Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Damn.
Thank you.
I thought it was September the 18th.
It was the 18th, but what happened, the promotion fell apart in Bulgaria, and then we moved the promotion to France on the undercard to Tony Yoka.
Wow.
And Vlad Sirenko came out and he took care of business. Took care of business in one round. He knocked him out.
I think you should fight Marius back next.
I think we're going to fight Johan Dupas.
Ooh, decent. Okay.
Dupas is next.
He's decent. He's strong.
He's durable, and he was giving Deontay Wilder pure hell.
Dupas is a good striker. Good fighter. Good fighter.
He was giving Deontay a nice.
But he got knocked out by Povetkin as well.
Until Deontay landed that ding dong on him, and that was it. You know, but it was a good fight up until that point. You know, he got a nice boxing style. You know, he was jabbing Deontay. He had Deontay's eye pretty bruised in that fight, and Deontay landed the equalizer on him, and that was the end of it. You know.
I believe Ustinov is not 67 years old.
No, he's 44 years old, but that doesn't make a difference. Sonny Liston was 40 years old when Muhammad Ali 22 years old, knocked him out. Archie Moore was 50 years old when Ali knocked him out. So people is going to talk. I told Vlad, don't care about that there. You know, it's customary for the old guy to play.
And actually, in the heavyweight division, heavyweights get better as they get older.
Yeah, we never saw Prime. We never saw Prime Sonny. Prime Sonny was locked up.
Right.
Sonny Liston, we don't know how old Sonny was. Sonny Liston, if we even got to see Sonny in his 20s.
Ali was boxing a lot of guys that was older than him, you know, because they had been around longer than him. So Ali came in and fought who was in front of him. You know, Ustinov only has 5 losses. He has 27 knockouts. He's been in there with some of the best fighters around. You understand? But he came in with a young guy last night that was hungry and that could punch. Vlad Sirenko can punch. All right? He may not be the quickest guy in the world. He may not be the best boxer in the world, but he can punch. That's not going to change.
You know what? For me, that's an impressive performance because he's knocked out a guy he's meant to get rid of, and he got rid of him in the first round. So that shows there's a level above the Ustinovs of this world, which is good. I mean, I don't understand people because you want to you want a guy who's got like a handful of fights as a pro to fight killers. And when they're fighting killers, you're still not giving them respect. So I don't know what you want. For me, that's a good move. You've knocked out Ustinov. Everyone knows who Ustinov is. They know generally Joe Joyce only fought him the other day. Ustinov, what, a year ago?
Yeah.
And Joe Joyce ain't too bad.
Michael Hunter.
Exactly.
You know, so, I mean, these guys, they don't understand. People that's talking like that don't understand the sport of boxing. They don't understand.
But if his name was Gennady Golovkin, it would have been acceptable. Let's get that straight. If it was Golovkin, it's fine.
Let me tell you something. If Ustinov hits anybody on the chin squarely, he could end the fight. He's still a dangerous opponent. That's why we took the opponent. Because there was an element of danger involved with taking the fight. So the big thing is not the fact that he knocked him out in the first round. The big thing is that he was willing to fight him in the first place. And that's what I want to see. How you would be able to handle the pressure of fighting somebody like a Ustinov. He's an old school guy. He's been around the block a couple of times, and he knows how to fight. And he got knocked out in the first round. All right? He got knocked out.
So I'm happy to see that. I really am. Now,
hey, go back to Jimmy's comment. Go back to Jimmy. That guy, Jimmy. Yeah. Look at this. This is what's so crazy about this comment, yo. He fought a fat cokehead coming off of 4 years. This is the heavyweight champ of the world he's talking about, bro. That's the guy who Wilder's supposed to be scared of, who he's not trying to fight in October. The fat cokehead, right? Like, get out of here. Everybody, like, why are we playing around with this, right? We all know that Tyson Fury can't beat Deontay Wilder without cheating. We know it. He cheated. And he was slick with it. He didn't get caught the night of the fight. Credit to him. He's not going to fight Deontay Wilder again, yo. Like, come on, man. Like, stop it. Come on.
Ingram,
it's not going to happen.
Chris, Ingram, good night to you guys. I'm going to go.
Say good night. I hope that Fury does fight Wilder. I hope he's in the best shape of his career. And I hope both guys are in the best shape of their careers and give us one hell of a fight because boxing needs it. Gentlemen, thank you both so much. Uncle Bashir, thank you.
Yes.
Chris, as always, thank you very much for colorful commentary, as always.
Hey, Ingram, hold up. You know he's sitting in the house like his wife, like, you really gonna fight him? You're like, no, I'm not. And they was sitting there in court, and he was like, the lawyer think that we can get out this fight. And he was like, yeah, we gonna get out this fight because I'm gonna fight AJ. AJ like, what? Really? You gonna fight me? All right, yeah, we'll fight. And then it's like, nah, the judge is like, nah, yo, you gotta fight Wilder, yo. He like, yeah, I'm gonna fight him. And then you see him give an interview. he fighting and sparring, his face like this. He like, yeah, we gonna beat Wilder. He done got pieced up. He was getting his ass whipped and sparring. My man 6'9", 280, getting his ass beat and sparring, yo. Then he lies. He says he gets a disease. And then the next day he at a car dealership, like taking pictures in the casino with no mask on, yo. Like, stop it. Stop it.
The only thing I have a problem with Fury with is the constant blabbering and talking out the side of his mouth. That's the only thing I have a problem with. But I've said that for years.
Yeah. Hey, yo, did you hear his father? His father just be switching up so fast. It's so funny. His father is the best. I'm trying to figure out who's the drug addict with the mental health issues. Is it him or his father? Because they be switching up like they fiends, bro. It's crazy. His father was before like, I don't like the fight. Oh my God, everything could go wrong out there in England, America. They're against Wilder. They're against him. Oh my God. Then he gets back to England. Oh, we're going to kill him. Oh, we're going to put him in the ICU. Oh, we're going to destroy him. Then it's like, oh yeah, he should get rid of Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill's a terrible trainer. You think that's going to work again? It's terrible. Then he gives an interview. Oh, he's with Sugar Hill. He's with the master. So it's all good now. It's like, what?
Well, he says, in one interview, he said, Deontay Wilder's nothing special, something like that. He said, but I don't like him as a person, but you've got to respect his right hand. I'm like, well,
let me tell you something. They are scrambling. They are scrambling, Ingram. Ingram, if you cheated somebody out of money and you knew that you were going to see them and you couldn't get out of it, think about how you would feel about that. You'd be nervous, right? Like that whole standoff that they had when Wilder didn't speak at the press conference, he was just looking at him in his face. I'm sure Wilder was looking at him like, you bitch. You were nobody. Wilder was probably looking at him like you were nobody before I fought you. And then you're gonna cheat me? And then you're gonna run from this fight, you fucking pussy? I'm sure Wilder has no respect for Fury, like none, like doesn't respect him at all as a man, as a human. He'd probably spit in his face if he saw him. No respect. Like Fury, like let me tell you something, bro. Fury was down bad before Wilder fought him, and Wilder only fought him because AJ ran for $50 million with his scary ass. Seeing people on the comment section talking about AJ like he matters. Lost to Andy Ruiz, who's a bum. Got his ass whipped by Andy Ruiz. Get out of here. Could have had this fight already. He ducking out the obvious. He's about to duck this fight. If Fury steps foot in that ring, he gets knocked smooth out. Unless you think Fury gonna walk him down again and knock him out. Like he couldn't do that to Otto Wallin, but he did that to Deontay Wilder. Yeah, okay. Sure. Believe that actually happened. Believe that stupid fucking shit. That motherfucking Tyson Fury couldn't walk down Otto Wallin, but he gonna walk down Deontay Wilder. That don't even make sense to say out of your fucking mouth, yo. So Wilder all of a sudden can't fight. He forgot how to fight that night. Nothing was shady. Everything. The same Wilder that beat Luis Ortiz twice, and Brazil in one round. All of a sudden, against the guy he had just knocked down in the last time they fought, all of a sudden now he can't throw a punch. And he's falling all over the place.
Chris, you got to understand, some of the people you're talking to in this room, that you're talking to have not done any research in terms of, like, they think that commissioners in boxing are all clean and there's no corruption in boxing. So you have to understand the standpoints of that. Some people don't believe in that. Some people don't believe that commissioners will let some things fly. They don't even believe that. Even when I posted the report about a commission, about an inspector being jailed and arrested for illegal actions.
Yeah, because it's not like the WBC is letting people fight after failing drug tests. That would never happen. Because I'm sure the drug testing in their fight was totally up to par because, the WBC is all about drug testing until you actually fail a drug test. Then all of a sudden, they're not about drug testing no more. So, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just like whatever. You know what I mean?
The thing is, if Fury had fought 2 fights of Wilder and wasn't dropped twice in that fight, in the first fight, in a third fight, as far as I'm concerned, there's every possibility that Fury could get dropped in a third fight. There's every possibility in a third fight that Wilder might not be the same fighter. He might be a better fighter. He might be a worse fighter. I find it difficult to believe that he'd be a worse fighter given 18 months to improve. But Uncle Bashir also has a valid point that 18 months, we don't know what Wilder we're going to get. I hope and I pray that the work that he's done with Malik Scott has made him a better fighter.
Hold on a second. Time out. Why are we disrespecting Deontay Wilder like he wasn't the champ for 5 fucking years and made 10 title defenses? What like that's this is what really makes this whole thing about Wilder and Fury just an absolute farce, and it makes it a bunch of bullshit to me. Because Wilder loses 1 fucking fight and he got smashed to bits and he got destroyed and he was eviscerated. Fucking Lennox Lewis was face down on the ground versus Hasim Rahman and came back and knocked him out. Same thing versus Oliver McCall. Klitschko's been put to sleep too. You know what I remember about the Wilder fight? Everything I'm saying that happened, wasn't it the towel being thrown in that ended the fight? Did the ref stop the fight? Was Wilder on the ground asleep? No, the towel was thrown in. And as soon as the towel was thrown in, he was in the corner like, why'd you stop the fight? So the beating wasn't as bad as everyone wants to make it out to be, first of all. And second of all,
that's media. That's media.
10 title defenses. Fury hasn't got 1 title defense. He made 10 successful title defenses. Fury hasn't made 1. What comment? Why am I ignoring your comment? What comment? What did you say? I'm not being rude. I'm just asking what did Fury do? What did Fury do? I'm not even disagreeing. Like, does he really not know? Who is Steve Pemberson's a boxer, right? Trying to remember.
He's the guy who's making a comeback here.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, so like you guys are in boxing, you don't know, I guess. If you go to Boxing Ego's channel, you can see all the videos, or Champ's Side, but there's definitely tons of video footage that show that Tyson Fury's gloves were manipulated. And there's also video footage of Tyson Fury turning down water at the fight. And Wilder looked off in the fight and claims that something was done to his water. And at the same fight, you got Tyson Fury on camera turning down water. Like people saying, hey, here's a bottle of water. He's like, nah, where'd it come from? I don't want it. It came from over there. Because that's normal. You know what I'm saying? Because that always happens, right? Like you're giving an interview to somebody and somebody comes up to you on camera and says, Tyson, don't drink any more of the water. It's not ours. Because, you know, I guess he's a date rape victim, I guess. Like somebody might roofie him or something. I don't know, right? Because people don't manipulate water in boxing. You know what I'm saying? And like gloves aren't tampered with, despite the fact that O'Shaquie Foster and this past fight with Michael Fox, we've caught clearly loaded gloves in the ring. But, you know, against Wilder, though, Fury, who's never cheated, apparently, despite the fact that he's failed drug tests and all that kind of stuff with his mob boss manager, there's no chance at all that they would have done anything and manipulated the fight. And what you like, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, it sounds fucking crazy. Like, you don't have to be a detective on a television show to figure this out. You got a boxer that couldn't bust a grape, all of a sudden walks down the most dangerous man on the planet, somebody that has never, ever been on the back foot. Luis Ortiz couldn't stop Deontay Wilder, but Tyson Fury, who can't knock out Sefer Seferi, does. Because that's what happens. Because Fury decided to become a power puncher all of a sudden. because that's what happens. We decide to be power punchers.
See,
That happens all the time.
Chris, you have to understand, there are a certain group of people in boxing that you could talk to till the cows come home, but their main purpose is disrupt shows. It's to come in, disrupt shows, disrupt conversations.
It's the same thing like with the Canelo Alvarez fans. They refuse, like with the fight on Friday. You know that guy fights in Canelo's gym, right?
What's that? Yeah.
He's trained by Eddie Reynoso, right? So just more fighters failing drug tests, you know. Fury looked like a left tackle, you know, in the fight versus Wilder. He shows up to the fight press conference in May looking like a melted Snickers bar. So, like, whatever, man. Like, you know.
We haven't got long to go. October 9th, all questions will be answered. I hope and pray that Tyson Fury does turn up. I hope the fight happens so we can put it to bed once and for all.
He will.
I hope.
He's going to disappoint you. I have no faith in him showing up. They don't have any control over him. They can't make him show up. Ingram, his own promoter Frank Warren was sitting next to him. He said, "Fingers crossed we get to the fight. We all want to go to Vegas. Fingers crossed it happens."
Don't have to convince me about. You don't have to convince me about Tyson Fury. Right?
Look, your man's not showing up. Soft.
That's why I say I hope and pray that he turns up for the good of boxing. It's not just about Fury and Wilder, but for the heavyweight division to move on one way or another.
Fury,
you know,
Fury's one guy who, if he's fighting at 58, I'd watch it. Piece of shit. Like, why Holyfield got to fight, but I'm hoping Fury got to fight. Scumbag.
Right. I'm going to have to close the show. But Chris, once again, as always, thank you so much for being on the show. Your views to some are controversial, but that's the way I like it. All right?
Hey, man, I got to keep it a buck. Steve Pemberson, do your research. You'll see what's up. I'm telling you, he's never looked like that. So, and he's wobbling before the fight even started. So it's like, yeah.
Look, Evander said the same thing too. Many others have said the same thing. It is what it is.
My thing is, I need Fury to not be a chicken shit and get in the ring, even though I know he's not.
Let's speak into the universe. We need the fight to happen, please. We need the fight to happen, Chris.
Show up.
He needs to show up. Chris, thank you so much as always.
For his own legacy, for UK boxing. If he doesn't show up, UK boxing, don't even come back. Just stay over there. Don't come back to the US. If he don't come to this fight, don't never come back. Stay your scary asses over there. Word up, all of y'all. All y'all are behind him in UK boxing, so that's the business. If your man don't come out here and fight, all y'all stay y'all scary asses over there. And whenever we want to fight one of y'all punk ass UK champions, we'll come over there and see you. But y'all ain't on the world stage, and that's for real. That's crazy. Fight the damn defend your belt. Fucking pussy, bro. Fuck. Who is this EJ Boxing Live?